Well, hi everybody. Good morning to you. Meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Tuesday morning, coming off of a rough day yesterday, and it could be another rough day today. Record-breaking potentially. In fact, before I even get to the almanac this morning, let's show you. These are the highs from yesterday. We had plenty of records that were tied or broken. Those are noted by the asterisks next to them. And in fact, Grand Island and Hastings both broke records yesterday. The hottest temperature on this map was 109 in Concordia, Kansas. That was a tie. 108 in Hebron. Now, keep in mind, not all of these places keep track of records. Hebron does not, for instance. So, again, you got to keep in mind that not everybody does. But we did see a record high. The old record was 105 in Grand Island. The old record was 101 in Hastings. But that one was shattered there. So it was a toasty day yesterday, and it was extremely muggy in eastern Nebraska. Well, today's almanac, you can see, will be close to record territory again today, especially Hastings. Hastings would be very close again today, well above average for this time of the year. In fact, let's take a look at some of the records around the area, and again, you'll note who keeps track of records and who doesn't. The one I show for Hastings every day, that is an unofficial record. But again, you can see the records that are out there for today, and they are certainly going to be achievable to at least tie, if not break, once again today. So let's dive into the forecast here. We'll start with our Futurecast product here. Muggy conditions continue in eastern Nebraska, and so there is a little fog in far eastern Nebraska into Iowa. Most of us, though, the skies are sunny this morning, and they will be sunny throughout the day with just a couple of thin clouds. Winds will pick up out of the south and southwest again today, becoming breezy. But notice the sharp divide right here, more of a southeasterly wind. This is where the humidity is going to remain high again today with that south or southeasterly wind. Tonight, a few increasing clouds across southern Nebraska and northern Kansas. Warm night ahead of us here. The winds will die down a little bit. They'll pick back up tomorrow, a breezy southwest wind, and another hot day expected with partly cloudy skies becoming mostly sunny as the day goes on. Tomorrow night, pretty quiet, couple of clouds, maybe a little bit of shower activity out in the panhandle, but most of us will remain quiet Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Another warm night ahead of us before we see another day of heat Thursday, and Thursday is kind of the beginning of the transition that's going to come towards the end of the week. Well, let's look at our excessive heat warning that remains in place until Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock at night. Heat index values in these locations here, maybe as high as 105 to maybe as high as 115 in eastern Nebraska. Could be even closer to 120 along the Missouri River. Now, once this expires Wednesday evening, it will be replaced by a heat advisory over northeast Nebraska right here, so that'll last another 24 hours. Eventually, this will probably get expanded to include other locations. I'm kind of surprised they've already issued this out, to be honest with you, since it's still a couple of days away. As for this right here, this is west of that excessive heat warning, so a heat advisory in place here. What a heat advisory means, we'll see those heat index values maybe up to 105, 100 to 105 in those locations. So this will continue through Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock. Future dew points. Again, very muggy conditions again today in eastern Nebraska, while the air will be drier in central and western Nebraska. It might get a little drier in Lincoln later today, but it's still going to be pretty humid east and near and east of Highway 77 out there. Just sultry conditions that will continue right into tonight in eastern Nebraska, while the rest of us aren't too bad. Tomorrow, still pretty humid in eastern Nebraska, but not as bad, but still kind of humid out there. And then as we get towards Wednesday night into Thursday, drier air for most of us, a little bit of an increase in the dew point in northern Nebraska ahead of a cold front that approaches up there. So let's take a look at the future feels like product, the future heat index. So this is up to noon today. By noon today, our heat index value could already be above 100 over eastern Nebraska, and later today could get as high as 110 to 120, maybe even over 120 along the Missouri River. So notice the impact that the humidity has out east compared to those of us in central and western areas where it's not as big of an impact because of the drier air in place. Those will drop off tonight, and then tomorrow picking back up. Once again, heat index values 105 to 115 in eastern Nebraska. That's slightly lower, but still uncomfortable. And then coming down again tomorrow night into Thursday morning. Actual temperatures today. Highs low to mid 100s, but where the air is going to be more humid, maybe some 90s there. And then out west, drier air, but cooler 90s in a few spots out west. But most of us low to mid 100s, close to record territory. Again, I'll show you those records for today. And again, those that keep track of records, that's what you have. So we could be awfully close later on today. Tomorrow morning, we're back into the 70s for overnight lows with some cooler 60s out west. Highs back to the triple digits on your Wednesday, low to mid 100s with some 90s out west. Tomorrow night into Thursday morning, 70s with some 60s again in western portions of the area. And another day into the triple digits on Thursday, although look up north and out west, 90s are beginning to move in. That's the approach of the cold front that's going to move through the area Thursday night into Friday. So once we get past Thursday, we're finally going to start to cool down. But we've got 3 more days of high heat, breezy too the next 2 days. Not as breezy on Thursday. Now, Friday's going to be cooler, but it's still going to be pretty warm out there as that front makes its way through. It also becomes breezy behind the front. A much bigger cool down comes in time for the weekend. Highs will struggle to get to 80 degrees. And then after that, temperatures do start to warm up. Along with that, we also start to bring back chances of rain and thunderstorms late Thursday night into Friday morning. Off and on chances all the way through the weekend. I would gear the best chance towards the early morning hours. Midnight to sunrise would be the time frame I'd be looking at for the best chance of moisture each one of these days right in here. So we'll get those figured out as we get a little bit closer. But again, long range, you see the cooler temperatures coming for the weekend, and then we do warm up next week. In fact, we'll be back above average already by possibly Monday, if not there, Tuesday. And by Wednesday and Thursday, the final 2 days of August, we are talking about maybe a little more heat back above, back into the lower 90s. Not as bad as this right here, but still above average. And this, of course, Memorial Stadium Volleyball Day in Lincoln. Probably going to be pretty warm and probably humid too in eastern Nebraska. Final day of August right there. And that's also the first Husker game, although it's an away game up in Minnesota. Pretty toasty here in Nebraska here. So we'll feel the heat in the coming days ahead next week after we get past a cooler weekend ahead. Well, I want to thank you all for watching on this Tuesday morning. I'll see you all again on Wednesday as we inch one day closer to the weekend cool down. Until then, stay cool, stay safe. We'll talk to you all later. God bless.